All right. So you are welcome to the online session of EDUC 801 today, 17th of May, 2024. So I'm going now on audio only, then share my screen, start. All right, so in our last class, we started the discussion on some notations in educational statistics. That was in our face-to-face class. And then after that, we move on to some basic algebra review, and we stop at rounding numbers. So today we shall continue with decimal numbers, where we talk about addition of decimal numbers, subtraction, then multiplication, and perhaps some kind of simple division problems. So when you talk about the addition of decimal numbers, of course, decimal numbers are different from whole numbers because they have point and some digits after the point. We have dealt with some decimal numbers in our previous class where we rounded up to the nearest whole number, to the nearest hundreds, to decimal places, and to significant figures. So we now want to talk about addition of some of these numbers. So I'm going to pick just quick examples, and then we proceed from here. For instance, this question says that find the sum. Find the sum of, let us pick this one, 0.004 plus 1.310 plus 4.09. So you can kindly mute yourself to avoid interruption, please. So for you to find this kind of sum, so what you do is simple. You try to arrange the numbers in such a way that the points align. I mean, the point. So for instance, the solution here will be 0.004. Then I have 1.310. Then I have 4.009. So I'm going to do basic addition here. So my basic addition problem here. I want you to pay attention to the fact that I arranged the numbers. Can you just stop talking? Who is that? Please stop talking. So I arranged the numbers in such a way that the points, they are aligned. So the arrangement here is very important, that you have a perfect arrangement before you can do the sum. So here now, I've done the perfect arrangement. The next thing is just to add the digits, as simple as that. So you start from the right, always you start addition from the right. So 4 plus 0, so this will give you 4. Then 0 plus 1 plus 9, that will give you 10. So you write 0 and carry 1 or take 1 up there. So that's 1, you add it to 3, you get 4. Then 4 plus 0, you get 4. Put your point where the location is. Then you add 0 plus 1 plus 4, and that gives 5. So this is basic addition problem here. So we can easily talk about the subtraction too. Like this one says, complete the following operation. The first point there, that is Roman figure 1, is the one I'm picking, and it says 14.032 minus 8.26. So for this subtraction problem, again, you arrange in such a way that you have the decimals aligned together. This is very important. So I start with arrangement by saying 14.032, all right, then minus 8.26. Look at this. This is very important. You don't make your arrangement in such a way that the points are not aligned. So the point must be aligned, all right? Then you just make your subtraction. So now you subtract 2 minus, nothing is here, so that means 0 is the anchor there. So 2 minus nothing is actually 2. But here, 3 minus 6, it is impossible for you to take away 6 from 3 because 6 is bigger than 3, so to say. So what we do next is to go to the next number and take 1, which will be in tens. So when you come to this next number, which is 0 here, unfortunately, there is nothing to take. So we come to 4, and then we take 1 from 4. So this 4 will remain 3 when we take 1, and that one will come here to make the tens. And then you take 1 from this 10, this will remain 9, and now the 1 will come here, you have 13. So now you can now comfortably say 13 minus 6. And when you subtract 6 from 13, you are going to get what? You are going to get 7. I hope that is correct. So now 9 minus 2, that gives again 7. Put your point where your point is going to be. I have to kick out some people now. So put your point where your point is going to be, and then you say 3 minus 8. 3 minus 8 is impossible because 8 is a bigger number than 3. So when you just pick the 2 digits together, or you take 1 from 1, that will be 0. So just have 13, and then 13 minus 8, you are going to get 5. So the answer to this subtraction problem is 5.772. So this is basic arithmetic that we do a long time ago. And now we are bringing it up as a kind of refreshment before you go into the main thing. All right, so that is how to do the subtraction. So is there any comments before we proceed to multiplication? Any comments before we go to multiplication? You can unmute yourself and talk quickly.
No, sir. Go on, sir.
Okay, excellent.
Sir, the screen is...
What do you say?
Good evening, sir. I would like you to solve this last question again. I didn't get it.
This last one. Okay, perfect.
Yes.
So what I just said is that when you subtract decimals, the most important thing is for you to arrange the numbers in such a way that the points align. So the first number is 14.032. I wrote that up here. Then the second number minus is 8.26. I wrote 8 under 4 in such a way that the points that you have after 8 will be aligned with the point you have after 4. Can you see that? Then the 2 next digits, they follow, 8.26. And then you do your normal arithmetic as you add. 2 minus nothing. 2 minus nothing is nothing but 2. Okay, 2 minus nothing is 2. But when you say 3 minus 6, that is impossible. Why? Because 6 is a bigger number than 2. So again, as I'm saying here, is that whenever you want to multiply 2 numbers together, which are decimal numbers, so to say, kindly unmute yourself to avoid interruption, please. Kindly unmute yourself. So whenever you have 2 numbers which are decimal numbers and you want to multiply, the very first thing you do is to arrange the numbers as we have said before. 1.47. Kindly mute yourself, please. Stop disrupting the class. So look at the way the arrangement was done. And now we do the multiplication. The way you do the multiplication of numbers without decimals. So for now, just pretend as if the decimals, are not there. Can you just stop talking? That person saying recording is recording. Please stop talking. So as I'm saying, you ignore the decimals. You pretend as if the decimals are not there. Then you do your multiplication. So we start from the right. You pick these 2. The last digit here from the right to multiply everything you have in there. So you have 2 times 4, 2 times 7, which is going to be 14. You write 4 and you take 1 up. 2 times 4, that will be 8. 8 plus 1, you get 9. Okay, I said you can ignore the point. Do as if the points are not there. So you go on 2 times 1, you get what? You get 2. 2 times 1, you get what? You get 2. So after you've done that, the next thing could be you pick the next digit, which is 1. So here, you say 1 times 7, it is 7. 1 times 4, it is 4. 1 times 1, it is 1. This arrangement, they are not coincidental. The number, the digits you are using to multiply, the first answer will be under that digit. So when I say 2 times 7 and I got 14, the 4 I wrote is under 2. The same thing when I say 1 times 7, the answer I got is under 1. So now you say 3 times 7. 3 times 7 will give you 21. So you write 1 and then you take 2 up there. All right? So then you say 3 times 4. 3 times 4 is what? Is 12. Then 12 plus 2 you take up there, that will be 14. You write 1 minute. Somebody's talking about question. Just hold on. All right, so we proceed. As I'm saying, then you say 3 times 4, that is 12, plus the 2 you put up there, that will be 14. You write 1, and then you take 1 up here. Interesting. So finally, you say 3 times 1, you get 3, plus the 1 you take up there, that would be what? That would be 4. Then you do your addition. Remember this long multiplication. Then you do the addition. So the addition, 4 plus nothing, you get 4. 9 plus 7, that would be 16. Take 6 and then carry 1. Then 1 plus 2, that would be 3. 3 plus 4, that would be 7. And 7 plus 1 would be what? Will be 8. Then 1 plus 4, you get 5. And 4 plus nothing, you get 4. This is almost your answer. So the next thing will now be, where will you put your point? That's the next question. I said, initially, you should pretend as if the points are not there. Now, this is the time you have to remember the points. So to put your point, you just count how many digits after the point in the numbers you have multiplied. In the first number, we have 1, 2. Okay, 1, 2, 2 digits. In the second number, we also have 1, 2, 2 digits. So all together, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 digits after the point. So the location to put our point will now be, we start counting 1, 2, 3, and then 4. So this is where you have your point here. 1 minute. So you have your point after 4. So by counting 1, 2, 3, 4, always from the right. So this is how to do simple multiplication in decimals. So you multiply the two numbers as if the points are not there. After you've completed the multiplication, then you now locate your point by counting how many digits after the point all together. So as simple as that. So the last aspect we consider under decimal, it has to do with division of two decimal numbers. So to divide 2 decimal numbers, how can we do it? We do that with an example. So let us take the first example, which happens to be the simplest here, unfortunately, but I'm taking the simplest this time around. So where we have 0.32 divided by 0.016. Now, what is the trick here? How can we deal with this division problem? This is not like what we are used to, because we are having decimals. So the very first attempt or a basic idea of solving this type of problem is to do away with decimals. Yes, you do away with what? With decimals. And doing away with decimals to me, anything that will take away the decimal from the denominator will help you. I repeat, anything that will take away the decimal from the denominator. So when you look at the denominator, it is 0.016. it is a good idea if you can just mute yourself since you are not talking. So that will save us the stress, and then we have a decorum in the class. Kindly mute yourself, everybody. I repeat, mute yourself, everybody. Okay, so you do away with the decimal at the denominator. So the question is, how will you do away with decimal at the denominator? For you to do away with decimal at the denominator, you need to multiply. You need to multiply by multiples of 10. It can be 10, it can be 100, it can be 1,000, and so on and so forth. So for you to know which of this multiple of 10 should you multiply, should you use to multiply, you just count. Look at it. The decimal is the main consign here. I mean, the denominator is the main consign. And when you look at the denominator in this particular example, there are 3 digits after the point. There are how many? 3 digits after the point. So that means we are going to multiply with a multiple of 10 that has 3 zeros. A multiple of 10 that has what? 3 zeros. So a multiple of 10 that has 3 zeros is nothing but 1,000. So you multiply both numerator and the denominator by 1,000. Do you get it clear? You multiply both numerator and the denominator by 1,000. So this will help you to get rid of the point at the denominator. So if the number at the denominator is having 2 decimal numbers, as in 2 digits after the point, so that means you multiply by 100. If it's having 1 digit after the point, you multiply by 10. If it's having 5 digits after the point, you multiply by 10,000, and so on. So this will definitely give us, when you multiply 0.32 by 1,000, you see, major reason why we are multiplying with multiples of 10 is the fact that it is so easy to deal with multiple of 10. You just need to shift the point in accordance with the number of zeros. We have 3 zeros here, so 0.32 times 1,000 will be shifting this point 3 times. Okay, so when you shift the point 3 times, you have 0,320. 0,320. This hole you have here, fill it up with 0. This hole I have here, I fill it up with what? With 2 0. Perfect. All right. So now that is for the numerator. While for the denominator, when you multiply this, shift this point 3 times again. When you shift it 3 times, you have it to be 0016. 0016. So that problem of division of multiplication, it has now reduced to division of whole number. 320 divided by 16. Do you see this? I ignore the zeros before the significant number, because 0, 2 is the same thing as 2. So this problem, it has reduced to 320 divided by 16. And so it is now easy for us to deal with. So to deal with this, in fact, by me looking at this, we can see that 32 is a multiple of 16, because 16 times 2 will give you 32. So you just say, how many 16 can you see in the denominator? It is 1. How many 16 can you see in 32? It is 2. How many 16 can you see in 0? It is 0. So the answer is 20 divided by 1, which is the same thing as 20. So the division of 0.32 by 0.016 is nothing but 20. So this is how to perform basic operation in division. As easy as that. All right? Is it okay, everybody? Yeah. So this is very important for you to catch it up, so as to be able
yes,
to.
Thank you, sir. You try. You will understand it. Sir. Thank you, sir.
Excellent. Thank you very much. So the next thing we deal with will be fractions. Dealing with fractions. So how can we deal with fractions? So To deal with fractions, now we are now into some basic algebra as continuation of it. So we talk about fractions. Fractions. These are things that you are familiar with, where you can give examples: 2/3, or 7/10, or you can name them 1/5, or you can name them 9/15 or 16, and so on and so forth. These are fractions, where the upper part, I think we named it the last time, we call it numerator, and the lower part we call it denominator. All right, so can we now add two fractions together? Can we subtract one fraction from the other? Can we multiply two fractions? Or can we divide one fraction by another? Yes, all these operations are possible. And I think we have one example here to illustrate them, where the first problem is here, question number 1. We have this very basic question. What? And then number 2, it says 1/2 minus 1/4. This equals to what? And then number 3, we have number 3, we have also addition. So I'm skipping that. Let me make my number 3 to be 1/2 multiplied by 3/4 equals to what? And then number 4, I have what is written here? 7/8. 7/8 divided by 2/4 equals to what? So these are basic things that we did long time ago. Please, those of you talking, can you just mute yourself and stop disturbing? So what you do basically here, I think as from next class, we have a police among you that will just be kicking out those people causing nuisance in the lesson. So, so for you to do the basic addition here, you talk about a number that's these two denominator, 2 and 4, that will divide that particular number without leaving a remainder. So when you look at this, it is very easy here, because if you see 2 and 4, they are almost multiple of the other. In fact, 4 is a multiple of 2. So a common denominator to these two is nothing but 4. All right, and so you can easily do the addition since you've got that. So you just say 4, that is your LCM, so to say, lowest common multiple, divided by 2, which is the denominator of the first one. You get 2, then that 2 multiplied by this one, so you get 2 times 1 to be 2. Your addition, you put it at its location, and then you move to the second fraction. 4 divided by 4, you get 1, then 1 times 1 is 1. So this is nothing but 3/4. It's just basic addition. I'm going this at this rate because I believe this is just to refresh your memory. All right, we deal with the second one the same way, or almost the same way we do with the first one. We start with the common lowest common multiple. In this case, it's also 4, as we did before. Then we say, okay, 4 divided by 2, you get 2. 2 times 1, it is 2. Minus is here, you put your minus, just as we have plus in the first example. So we have minus here, and we say 4 divided by 4, we get 1. 1 times 1 gives 1, and this is just 1/4. Because 2 minus 1 is nothing but 1/4. So the next problem is about multiplication. So multiply is the most direct operation to perform when you are dealing with fractions. You just multiply at the go. So now you multiply numerators by numerators and the denominators by denominators. So in this case, you just say 1 times 3, it is 3, divided by 2 times 4, it is what? It is 8. So the answer is just 3/8. As simple as this. This is not something very easy. Now, how can we now deal with division? Division operation is not like the other ones, we cannot perform the operation of division directly. We have to find a way to simplify division using multiplication. Can you see this? You have to find a way to simplify division using what? Multiplication. This is what will help us. So how can we now change this division to multiplication? I write the question 7 over 8. Now I'm changing this division to multiplication. If I do that, that means I will take the inverse. I will take the inverse of this fraction. The inverse means that you should turn the numerator to be denominator and then turn the denominator to be numerator. So in this case, the inverse of 3 over 4 is going to be 4 over 3. 4 over 3. Do you understand this inverse of the thing? No, the inverse means that you make the numerator to be denominator and you make the denominator to be numerator. All right. So now I've changed the division to multiplication, so I can now perform my multiplication in peace. So to do the multiplication now, that's how to deal with fractions. Now we are dealing next with negative numbers. Like I introduced the last time, that dealing with negative numbers, here you will learn that 2 wrongs actually make a right. How is that possible? In dealing with negative numbers, we only talk about when you multiply these signs. And I think there are only 4 aspects of it. So dealing with negative numbers. Dealing with negative numbers. Negative numbers. Okay? So we talk about multiplication of these signs, like minus multiplied by minus. Okay? Minus, 1 minute. Let me get the eraser from here. Okay. Go back to my pen. So minus multiplied by minus will give you plus. Look at this. 2 wrongs, minus, minus. But when you multiply them together, they give you positive, which is what? Which is right. All right. But again, plus multiply by plus will give you, don't say minus. So plus times plus will give you plus. But if you alternate between minus and plus, the answer will give you minus. Or you say plus times minus, the answer will still be minus. Can you see this now? Perfect. So minus times minus is plus. Plus times plus is plus. Minus times plus is minus. Then plus times minus is minus. Here, division operation is the same. Minus divided by minus is plus. Plus divided by plus is plus. Minus divided by plus is minus. Plus divided by minus is what? Is minus. Okay? So this is just for your information. You can pick just very simple example, then we leave here for the major thing. Like for instance, you can have minus 2 multiplied by minus 4. What is the answer here? Minus 2 multiplied by minus 4. You need to ask yourself, minus times minus, look at it here, is what? Is plus. Then 2 times 4 is what? Is 8. So your answer is plus 8, or you simply write 8. If you write plus 8 or you write 8, it is still the same. Okay, so we can deal with the rest on our own, and then we move to the last segment of today's class, which has to do with order of operations. We are going to spend some time on this topic today, and by next week, we will solve more problems based on this order of operations. What is order of operation? You can start with an example. Take, for instance, we have something like this. 6 plus 3 multiplied by 2 minus 7. What is the answer to this problem? 6 plus 3 times 2 minus 7. In this case, you can see addition, you can see multiplication, And you can also see subtraction. Which of these operations should you do first? Which of these operations, I repeat, should you do first? 6 plus 3 times 2 minus 7. All right? So, which of them should you do first? How will you know what to do first? This is what we talk about order of operation. This is when we talk about what? Order of operation. So this aspect is very important to the extent that I wouldn't like while talking about this. As we are saying now, that what will you deal with first? So decide on which of these operations should you perform. So there are some acronyms or some kind of acronyms that can help you, or shortcuts that will help you to remember which operation to perform. So the very first of them is what we call board mass. Board mass. Okay. While the second one, which is equivalent to board mass, is what we call PEMDAS. PEMDAS. Board mass or PEMDAS. Okay, when we say board mass or we say PEMDAS, what do we mean? Let us write it like this. BODM, take note, AS. All right? B here, it starts from brackets. It stands for what? Brackets. If you see brackets in your algebra that you want to simplify, you must always start with what is in the bracket. Okay? That is what B is telling you. O here, it stands for order. It stands for what? Order. What do you mean by order? Like power, so to say. Or you call it exponent. So like 2 to the power 3. We say 2 of order 3. 2 to the power 5. 2 to the power 5, I mean 2 raised to the power of 5. Okay? So whenever you see this in your next, after you have finished with everything in the bracket, you know, they are actually on the same level. Okay? Division and same level. And how will you know which of them to choose? Which of them to choose is the one you see when you are counting from the left or from the right, as the case may be. All right? So D is for division, and the M is for multiplication. So whenever you see your multiplication, your division or your multiplication, you are going to evaluate them first before you talk about A and S, which are addition and what? Subtraction. Just like division and multiplication, addition and subtraction, they are both at the same level. For you to know which of them to take, you have to look at your problem and see which of them come first. Which of them comes first when you are counting from the left to right. When you are moving from the what? Left to right. Okay? Let us quickly apply this before we talk about PEMDAS on this problem we have. In our problem, we have 6 plus 3 times 2 minus 7. In this problem, we can see that according to the order of operation board mass, we are going to start with what? Multiplication. Because multiplication comes before addition and it comes before subtraction. Okay. So the next thing we do, we deal with multiplication problem in our expression. So we say 3 times 2, we have 6. Minus 7. Is that okay? So you can see, according to the order of operation, we started with multiplication. So the next thing is to deal with this addition problem. Are we to start with 6 minus 7, or we start with 6 plus 6? Remember I said addition and subtraction, they are at the same level. For you to know which one to start from, you need to see which one do you see when you are coming from the left to right. This is my left. My left is from 6. So when you are moving from left to right, which of them do you see? From here, I can see addition. That means I'm going to add first. So 6 plus 6 will give me 12. Then minus 7. So 12 minus 7 is what? Is 5. Oh, bravo. Somebody actually told us the answer is 5. And now we can see the answer is actually 5. So this is what BODMAS is all about. And this is how to apply it. What about PEMDAS? It's the same. They are both equivalent. So you write that is P, E, M, D, okay? Then what? A, S. This P here is which is the same thing as brackets. And E here is stand for exponents. Okay, like powers, order. And then multiplication. So also we have addition and what? Subtraction. Okay, the rule is, now you can see here in BODMAS, we have D before M. But in PEMDAS, we have M before D. Because they are both at the same level. The only difference is that you start you see when you are moving from the left to the right. If you see division first, start with division. If you see multiplication. Now let us now have some examples we have on our notes. That will be for the next. How many examples I have here? I have 10 examples. Let me see if I can go through multiple of 3. If you have more chance, we can pick more. So let us start with question number 3, where we have to simplify 4 squared 6 plus 10 divided by 2. According to BODMAS or PEMDAS, we have to start with what is in the bracket. Okay? So I'm going my 4 square, I will write it the way it is, minus, open the bracket. Now in the bracket, you can also see there are 2 operations there. You have addition, then you have division. According to PEMDAS, so I'm going to deal with this division problem. So I have 6 plus 10 divided by 2. This will give me 5. Is that okay? I close my bracket. Again, I've not finished with the bracket. I have to finish with it. What is 6 plus 5? It is what? 11. Now I'm through with the bracket. That means I've successfully finished with the first operation. According to BODMAS or PEMDAS, the next operation after bracket is exponent or order. Now, can you see exponent here? 4 squared. That is 4 to the power 2. 4 to the exponent 2. So in this case, I'm going to deal with 4 squared. And 4 squared means 4 times 4. 4 squared is what? 16. Then 16 minus 11. So 16 minus 11, finally, I get what? I get much. So what we have here is a 16 minus 11, which is what? Which is 5. Is that correct, everybody? Excellent. So we go to the second question. That is question 6. What is question 6 say? 12 divided by 4 plus 5 multiplied by 2 minus 3 to the power 3 to the power 2. Okay, let us deal with this. According to the BODMAS or PEMDAS, we need to start with the brackets. If there is no brackets, we go to exponent or order. I can see one exponent here. I hope you can see that too. So that is where we are starting from. 12 divided by 4 plus 5 times 2 minus 3 squared. It means 3 times 3. And that gives what? 9. Now I'm dealing with the exponent. Then it's followed by what? If it is BODMAS, you have to deal with division. Okay? If it's PEMDAS, you have to deal with what? Multiplication. But I said both division and multiplication, they are at the same level. You start with the one that comes when you are coming from the left. Now, you can see this division, this is multiplication. You cannot start here. No. Because starting here, if you are coming from left to right, this is left to right. Okay? Left to what? To right. You are going to see division before you see multiplication. So you must start from the left. So this one will now be 12 divided by 4. And that is what? 3 plus 5 times 2 minus 9. We have 3 plus, now multiplication is the next thing. Okay? 5 times 2, 10 minus 9. Again, addition and subtraction, they are the same level. The one that takes lead will be the one I see when I'm coming from left to right. I can see addition first. So I'm going to have 3 plus 10, 13, 13 minus 9. What is 13 minus 9? I get 4. Is that correct, everybody? So the last question for today is that of question 9. And it says, open a bracket, 2 plus, that's question 9. 2 plus 3, all right? Multiply by, this is interesting, 6 minus 2 to the power 3. Okay? So to deal with this problem again, we remember our BODMAS that says what? We should always start with the brackets. So the brackets here is the first thing we can see here. So we have to deal with what is in the bracket. So dealing with this bracket means you had 2 plus 3. 2 plus 3 gives what? 5. And then the bracket will disappear. Then multiply by 6 minus 2 to the power 3. According to BODMAS or BEDMAS, okay, or PEMDAS or PEDMAS, you can have PEMDAS, or you can have PEDMAS. We are still saying the same thing. Or you can have whatever. But just what is in there is that M, again, 1 minute. I've changed to eraser now. So what is there is that we have M and D, they are the same level. M and D are the same level. A and S the same level. A and the same level. Okay, so now we deal with exponent. I mean the exponent, which is this one, this exponent. So we have this to be 5 times 6 minus 2 to the power 3. We get what? We get 8. That is 2 times 2 times 2.
Yes, sir.
2 to the power 3 is 2 times 2 times 2. That gives 8. Now we're almost done. We just say 5 times 6. We get 30 minus 8, right? And what is 30 minus 8? Who is telling us? 30 minus 8 is nothing but what? But 22. So our answer is actually 22. So far, so good. What we have achieved so far was to deal with some things on decimals, addition, subtraction, multiplication of decimals. Then we moved on to fractions, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division of fractions. Then we also spoke about negative numbers. And then we introduced this interesting acronym for order of operations. I think the good thing about this virtual class is that you can always have your complete notes without having to clean the board as when you have in the physical class. So by next week, we are going to solve more problems from the tutorial questions. We have, let me see, I think we have 20 questions, 30 questions, 30. We have 30 questions on the tutorial list. So maybe we are going to solve, I should get prepared. Maybe we are going to solve like 10 or 15 out of these questions in our next class. So get ready.